Friends, I'm here at the Sea of Galilee, ancient, historic, and back to the south on Sunday. A lot is going on in Judea and Samaria. Counterterrorism operation in the northern Judea and Samaria successfully located. Man, I used to love doing this. A laboratory, an explosives laboratory, and dismantled it before it could hurt us. President Trump, Donald Trump, issued a strong warning. I feel he's just tired. Rubio says he's just tired of it. Tired of what they're doing to the innocent Jewish people. These Hamas are monsters, and he's demanding the immediate release of all the hostages, the return of the murdered individuals' bodies. And he says, very interesting, he says, Shalom Hamas. Now, Shalom, he says, is a Hebrew word for hello or goodbye. You can choose. He called Hamas leadership sick and twisted for keeping bodies, not letting us bury our dead. And he warned Hamas leaders to leave Gaza while they still had the chance. He said, release the hostages now or there will be hell to pay later. He pledged full support to us, to Israel, and everything we need to finish the job. And he said not a single Hamas leader, a single Hamas member will be safe if they don't comply. And he mentioned meeting with the former hostages. I think meeting Eli Sharabi at the White House, he invited this emaciated, one of the many, he looked like he came out of a Holocaust. And Eli shared with him some of how they forced him to eat 1/4 of a pita, diluted seawater, losing up to 40% of their body weight, deprived of fresh water. Dental damage, compromised immune system. Trump is tired of this evil. And he wants to do everything he can to bring a beautiful future. But he said if they keep the hostages, that's going to lead to their utter destruction. A U.S. envoy has been in direct talks with Hamas, like in Qatar. Adam Boehler, U.S. hostage envoy, has met multiple times in Qatar with the Hamas representatives. And the U.S. is signaling that if Hamas releases the hostages, the ceasefire will advance. And so we're going to see what's happening. There's 59 hostages still in Gaza, including 5 Americans, I believe. And so Steve Witkoff is the main guy doing this negotiation here. We're all in limbo, right? The first phase is over. We're all in limbo. What's going to happen? They're talking with Abdel Latif Al-Qaouna. They're telling them there's hell to pay if you won't make the smart decision, they're saying. And so the first of the phase ended, and now, we're cutting on, we're putting the pressure cooker on here, making sure they'll feel that we're serious, very serious. Around the world, people are making choices. Countries, individuals, organizations are standing with the Judeo-Christian values or against. Right now, China's getting very aggressive with some of what Trump's doing. They've increased their military spending by 7.2%. They're openly telling America we're ready for any type of war with the United States. We're looking at a very grim time, right? More warships and drills right near Taiwan. It's clear they're preparing for a fight. They want to maybe take Taiwan, possibly. And this is a huge threat, not only to the United States, but also to Israel and our allies, showing that China isn't afraid to challenge United States military power. Iran is making big moves. They just put out their new stealth fighter and that it can do bombing missions without being detected. And so the United States is keeping the pressure with the sanctions on Iran. But you know what? It is becoming quite dangerous as they're trying to really build stronger ties with Iraq and Syria and other neighbors. And so, especially with Giuliani, they want Giuliani to be their friend and all that stuff. So it's really intense time, and we're not going to let southern Syria go back to being a threat, Zelensky. But now it's like what's going to happen if there's a bigger threat with Russia and China, and so there's some really big things going on. Emmanuel Macron warns Russia that Russia could go beyond Ukraine and try to, take Finland. I don't know what they might try to do. So we must stand together. We must stand firm, stand strong, stand and encourage ourselves in the word of God, Zechariah 12:7-12. The Lord will save the tents of Judah first, so that the glory of the house of David and the glory of the inhabitants of Jerusalem will not become greater than that of Judah. In that day, the Lord will defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem the one who's feeble among them in that day will be like David. And the house of David will be like God himself, like the angel of the Lord before them. It shall be in that day that I will seek to destroy all the nations that come against Jerusalem and pour on the house of David and on the inhabitants of Jerusalem the spirit of grace, supplication. And it goes on. This is a time of like there's been no other like this. And we are living to possibly see many of these things in our day.